It's an NRL news update thanks to Bodie's, the original and best clear protein water with 100% whey protein isolate.
Cat amongst the pigeons, kerfuffle, shite sandwich, whatever you want to call it. Like this dropped yesterday on our program. It was breaking news, and we said at the time that this is going nowhere. This, like a bit like the fifth Beatle. That's it. This barn's gone nowhere. The Balmain Tigers have a statement. We spoke about the Michael Chammas had the article in the Sydney Morning Herald, and the Balmain Tigers have launched back with a statement. In response to the recent media reports, the Balmain Tigers Rugby League Football Club make the following statement. The article written in the Sydney Morning Herald was not true. And this is not to say what they've heard is not true, and not the view of the Balmain board. The Balmain Tigers Rugby League Football Club is fully supportive of the ongoing relationship with our joint venture partners, the Holman Barnes Group and West Magpies. The Balmain board have a wonderful working relationship with the Holman Barnes Group and want nothing but sustained success for the West Tigers. We're at an event the other day, Michelle, 25 years.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when this landed, I said at the time to Miss, I said, hey, this is going nowhere because the heartbeat really for the pipeline of juniors has to be out the west, right? Has to be.
Absolutely.
And you've got Balmain here. The last thing the NRL need in expansion is another inner city club.
Yep.
Not only that, the West Tigers have 25 years under their belt. And even if Balmain were to do their own thing, you're not going to get the Tiger emblem back.
No, absolutely not.
So, and all those Balmain fans, along with the Western Suburbs Magpies fans, so many of them after 25 years are West Tigers.
Yeah.
I know it hasn't been great success.
No, it's been a 25-year terrible marriage. It's like, Mum and Dad, can you please get divorced? This is killing me. And this is speaking from an absolute true blue Balmain supporter. I grew up going to Leichhardt, watching all three grades every second week. I actually just lost interest with the whole merger, but I'm up front about it. I haven't been a West Tigers supporter, since it all happened. But just hearing this, and it's actually painful. It's actually like, really, do you actually think it's ever going to happen? You're ever going to, go it alone and become a team in the competition ever again? We just need to move on from it. And as you say, the timing of this was strange. I know both Benny Elias and Danny Stapleton very well, and they're smarter than for this to have happened, this to have unfolded the way it has anyway. So it's crazy stuff.
It is. And
don't blame the journo, because obviously the story came from somewhere, which is not what you've done, but I'm just saying that the story wasn't made up, but there's obviously some sort of agenda, and it's backfired because it's not happening.
Michelle, the thing is with these mergers, right, and they're bloody hard, clearly.
Extremely hard.
The Northern Eagles didn't work out. St George Illawarra and the West Tigers, they've probably been in the competitions, say, 52 years between them. They've won 2 comps, so that's sort of one every 26 years.
Yep.
But there's 16 teams for the most part, now 17, but they're not quite living up to what parity or par should be, right?
Yep.
And largely that's because of the front office, where just simply egos. The fans get past it.
Yep.
The players couldn't give a rat's. Like, I remember that first year at the West Tigers. Cherry Mesher, he turns up from West. Steve Georgialis, the McGuinness boys.
Great guys. Legends.
Great guys. And John Scandalis, Pomeroy, they turn up, and within one training session,
You're all mates.
We're on our way. We're all mates, right? But the board and the egos and got to get me kid in the ball boy shirt, but seriously.
Yeah.
It's all this crap.
I'm laughing because it's so true.
It's all this crap. And it's like 25 years. Come on.
Yeah. 20, as I say, it's like, it is like a bad marriage.
Yeah.
Like, can you either go one way or the other with it and stop all this rubbish and this nonsense? Be grateful you're in the competition.
Yeah.
At all.
So sorry. So it's been very difficult for both parties. If you could go back in time, what was the right thing to do for both those clubs?
Well, I'm a little bit jealous of South Sydney. They clearly had a better pathway to a better future. I envy that people that were rallied for South Sydney didn't do something similar for the Balmain Tigers, or again for West, for them to have gone it alone. I would have liked to have actually seen what it would have been like for a West and Parramatta merger, but
or Western Canterbury.
Or Western Canterbury, yeah. But just more so, I think the West and Parramatta would have been a decent option. Imagine the nursery there. But yeah, I mean, and you know, it was all great back then. They're fond memories, but times have changed.
Yep.
You know, I mean, going to a game at Leichhardt Oval is still it's awesome. But if you're a true blue Balmain supporter, it doesn't even measure to what we used to go to of a weekend back then.
Okay. Have you say, and this comes after an article from the Sydney Morning Herald stating that Balmain were considering a shock exit from the West Tigers merger, but I think that's been puffed out fairly quickly. Leo had this to say. Gary Leo said, I really believe the time has come for us to step aside and resurrect the Balmain Tigers. That is not going to happen. Balmain chair Danny Staple and Benny Elias, they shut it down immediately through the Daily Telegraph. Benny Elias said, Leo's delirious. Oh, the gloves are off here. They're absolutely farcical comments. It's a joke. There's no way in the world Balmain will separate from the West Tigers. No way. It won't happen in this century. Rightio, let's move away from the West Tigers. Let's head north to the Broncos. Squad changes ahead of round 26. Payne Haas has been cleared to come back. What a match this is going to be. The Battle of Brisbane. Sellout, isn't it, Michelle?
Mm-hmm. Big in too.
Big
Haas.
in. Massive in. Dean Mariner is not training due to illness. It's not to say that he's out, but he's not training at the moment due to illness. And Selwyn Cobbo expected in the centres with Katapani on the wing in the event that Dean Mariner doesn't play. Selwyn Cobbo, he's played the Dolphins, this Battle of Brisbane 3 times, scored in each game, 6 tries in 3 games. He loves this. Christian Tuipulotu is out with a hamstring injury for the Dragons, so he's out. And as far as Souths are concerned, Cameron Murray has been replaced by Keon Koloamatangi, who in the middle, Keon's been amazing. Jermaine Hopgood re-signs with the Eels, so well done to Parramatta.
That is a massive, you know, we're often kicking Para. That is just huge. And it tells me something. It tells me there's some sort of change because he's such a good player. He's obviously, you know, had that Penrith sort of grounding, and he'd be out at the first sign that he possibly could if it wasn't looking at least a little bit brighter. So that tells me that there's good things happening at Para.
And Jason Riles has come out and said, I think it was the 2 players were Gutho and also Ryan Madison, big parts of his plans. Mm-hmm. Not so much for Regan Campbell-Gillard. The Dragons close in on Regan Campbell-Gillard. Brent Reid and Mick Carianis talking about this through the Daily Telegraph. It's understood the Dragons are in the process of finalising an offer for the former New South Wales and Australian prop. He has a year remaining on his deal. So he didn't finish his deal at the Panthers.
No.
Parramatta picked him up, and now it looks as though he's not going to finish his deal at Parramatta.
I kind of think that it was more a Penrith pushing him to move on than him just not finishing the deal.
Okay. All right. They met in the grand final, incidentally, too, didn't they?
Yep.
And North Queensland held an initial interest in the 31-year-old, but backed off when they were asked to whether they'd be happy to take a 3-year deal. So they weren't so keen on that.